Hello folks, welcome to another apple tasting. We've got Nigel here and we've got me here.
Yeah, so we should have a bit of fun now going through these 12, 13 or 14 apples. It's middle of the apple season, or just before the middle of the apple season. What's that?
First apple.
Oh, first apple, that's very quick.
I was going to take a bite, but...
Oh, no, that's not allowed. Right, this apple here is one which was bred by a monk at the St Bernard's Abbey, Mount St Bernard's in Leicestershire. It's called St Aelred, and that was the monk's sort of religious name. And I'll put a mention of what the cross is that he used for breeding this apple. I'll put it in the description. Reputedly, it's quite a good one. Well, that is good.
It's got a lovely taste.
Skin?
It's quite soft. The skin just lets it down a bit.
Just a bit, but that's almost a perfect taste, that is.
Apart from the skin, I mean, if you took the skin off, it would be a 5, but as the skin is, it's just a bit...
Yeah.
And we give that 4.5.
4.5, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. Sweet, quite firm.
No aftertaste.
No, it's very, very pleasant.
Just to remind you folks, each of us scores out of 5, which means that between us that will be out of 10 to give us a total score. If it's a 5, then there's nothing wrong with it at all. It tastes beautiful.
Yeah, it's perfect basically.
Skin's soft, you know, not no aftertaste. 4.5, you know, there's something not quite right, i.e. maybe the skin or something else. 4, you know, it's nearly there. If it was a 3, then it's either it's eatable, but it's neither good nor bad. It's just average, like some of the apples you might get in a supermarket.
Well, yeah, you put it in your lunch, you know, but you wouldn't comment on it. You think, oh, that's okay. If
it's below 3, then it's not something that we would really eat.
Yeah, if it's lower than 3, there's something significantly unpleasant about it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't eat a whole one, probably.
And if we spit it out, then you know it really is bad.
That doesn't happen often, does it? But it has happened occasionally.
But, yeah, I noticed you got a collar open, Nigel, so, you know, I'll just make sure it's that direction.
I'll put the rubbish container there, just in case. Right, next one is one which we tried last month. We have this is the Doubleman apple from Stockholm.
The skin looks like a plum.
Yeah, it's got a pronounced bloom on it. You can see it's got sort of white powdery stuff on it, and if you rub it, that comes off. And there are not many apples that look like that. And in fact, if you sort of rub this on a piece of cloth, it goes shiny. You can see the surface is shiny there, but it's not shiny where I've not polished it. Anyway, this is a red-fleshed apple. We tried it last month from a tree where it had been drought affected, and the taste was not good. I think we gave it 2.5 or thereabouts. Oh, could you explain why I don't give you the bit with the skin on it?
Because I've got false teeth.
Yeah, and because you keep moaning if I do. Right, there's the colour. It's grown in Stockholm. It's crimson inside. In England, it tends to just be pale pink. And I'm hoping this has improved, because usually if you have an apple that's not very nice flavour or bitter and it's not quite ripe, the bitterness tends to disappear when it ripens fully. It's a bit peculiar, isn't it? There's still
let's just say I don't want another piece.
Yeah, it does taste odd.
It does.
You think, to start with, oh, that's okay. And then there's this strange, slightly bitter, odd flavour that creeps up.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't like that very much.
No.
Not this year, anyway.
No. I'm just going to give it a 2.
I'm going to give it 2.5.
Yeah.
It has in the past, when the weather's been different, it has scored 5 before.
Right.
So it shows how much the flavour is affected by weather conditions
Yeah.
each year.
Rain and sunshine.
Yeah, and the best apples give you a good flavour all the time. This is why they're so popular, I guess, or one of the
And this
reasons.
is one of the things what we often maybe forget when the apples are on the tree. You need to get some light to them to get some of the flavour to them.
Well, you do really, because if you don't get enough light to them, they don't fully ripen and you don't get the full flavour.
That's right.
The other thing is, though, that if it's too warm at night, that also inhibits the flavour because it makes a lot of the flavoursome compounds and the aromas in the apple disappear if it's too hot. So you need to have a country for growing apples where you get fully ripening but cool evenings in the autumn. Now this is an apple we found on the outskirts of Croft, and there was a guy that asked me a little while ago, could I find a cider apple for us to try, just to talk about, and so I found one. Cider apples are a little bit different. Oh, it's got a nice smell to it. What do you reckon?
Oh, oh God.
I measured the acidity of this apple a while back, and
It's got an aftertaste to that. Oh,
it's bitter, isn't it? It's bitter. It's really tart, really sharp. And although that's no good for eating,
I think you ought to have another piece.
no, I'm not eating any more of that. But that is great for winemaking and cider making, and it's good for cooking. Because when you cook an apple that's very high in acid and tannin, most of the tannin and acid break down on cooking. And if you use it to make a cider, cider needs acid, tannin and sugar in quite large amounts and in the right balance. And so this can supply 2 of those 3 ingredients. It can supply lots of tannin, lots of acid. This is twice the acidity, weight for weight, of Bramley. So it's really sharp. What number then? As an eating apple, it's hopeless, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't eat it.
You know, I'm going to give that 1.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 1. I couldn't eat more than one. Well, I didn't really eat one mouthful, did I?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the apple's no good. As I said, it means that it's just
No
inappropriate
good for eating.
no good for eating.
Yeah.
Good for other stuff. Next one is
No. Oh, is that another one? Yeah. Is that a different one?
yes, this is.
You're not going to try and poison me again, are you?
This is not a cider apple. This is
Right.
a dessert apple. So don't worry. And look at the colour. It's one of our most brightly coloured red flesh. This one is from Kazakhstan, I think, or Kyrgyzstan. I'm not sure which one. And it's called Alatau.
Russia.
It's close to Russia, I think.
Soviet.
Yeah.
The previous Soviet Union.
Yeah. It's quite tart, but it's got something. I'm not sure I would want to eat a whole one.
Sorry, but not for me.
It's like a mixture of.
It's got a funny taste to it.
Yeah,
Its
mixture of
skin's hard.
Mixture of apples and oranges to me. That is, it's sort of citrusy and appley, but it's still a bit too acidic to use as a dessert apple.
Not as bad as the last one, but
No.
I'm only going to give it a 1.5.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it a 2. I could probably tolerate that in a fruit salad. But again, that would be good for cider, and it would be okay for cooking. Right, next one is... Oh, hold on, we've got another one up there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll put an extra one in.
I was eager, I was looking at them.
Oh,
Nice
right.
looking.
This is Norfolk Royal Russet. and it's a little bit like Egremont russet. It's got this sort of dull, greeny, rough skin, which we call russet. So it sounds quite firm as I cut it. I'm told this is quite a good flavour.
She's firm.
Is it alright?
I don't know yet. Can't get into it.
It's quite rich. It's quite rich and sweet. And the skin's good, it just disappeared. I like that. It's a bit chewy, isn't it? But it's lovely flavour.
It's a bit firm.
Yeah, just
It
firm.
is. It's a bit hard to eat with false teeth.
Yeah,
To get
yeah.
your first bite in was.
I'm going to give that 4.5. I quite like that, but I can see it might be a bit firm if you have false teeth.
I'm just going to give it a 3.
Yeah, okay. Got some interesting flavours in it. And
yes, I agree. It's
And it's not like the Egremont quite. It's the Egremont russet is very nutty. That one isn't really. It's more appley than nutty. Right, next one is from Poland, from a person who gave me the cutting from which it's grafted. So Michael, if you're watching, thank you very much. And this is Costella. The flavour of this is a bit different. There's no hint of lemony flavours or sort of higher flavours in this. It's sweet and sort of muted flavours, but I find that very pleasant.
To me, it's neither bad nor good. I'm going to give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a 4. It's I find that very attractive.
Right. To me, it hasn't got really a taste.
Well, different people have different taste buds and can detect different compounds. You get some people that can't taste bitter flavours, and they're called bitter blind. And for example, if you give them something that's very, very tannic, they won't turn a hair. Oh, how annoying! I just have to put this person off. Hold on. Sorry, we're in the middle of doing something. Could you ring back in 15 minutes, please? Thank you. Now that threw me a little bit. So 4 for me, and
3.
you were 3.
Yeah.
Right, next one is a well-known eater, James Grieve.
Looks a lovely apple, nice and
Yeah,
big.
look at that.
It's the type I go for. So apples, what I'm eating at the minute at home, which I bought from the supermarket, are Jazz and Pink Lady.
Yeah, they're good supermarket apples. They are.
Mm.
I seem to remember Jazz is. I think it's a bred from. I think it's Braeburn. Not sure though. I'd have to look that up. Bit more. I reckon that's a 5. It's really good. Not too firm, very tasty and juicy, not too acidic. Skin is very, very thin. Yeah, I'm definitely giving that a 5.
4 for me.
4, okay. And what's negative about it for you for that?
I think it's the skin. It's just not quite.
The skin's unusual because can you see it's very shiny and it's slightly waxy.
Yeah.
Or even sticky. If you hold it, you'll feel the stickiness on it.
I know.
Yeah. Now the next one is relatively new. It was bred about 20 years ago, and this is known as Sunburst. I think it came from East Malling, the research station, and it's just been released. You can buy it in some supermarkets. And I've not held it up to the camera yet, but you can see see the colour if I get the angle right. It's coloured a bit like a pumpkin. Flavour's a bit different to the ordinary apple flavour.
To me, that's superb.
It's got something extra in the taste, hasn't it?
That's the 5 for me.
Yeah, agreed. It's got all the apple flavours you want, and it's got an extra little bit of flavour that's not in the other fruit.
Not like anything you get in the supermarket.
No, it's really good.
Yeah.
Right, next one is from Austria. This is a very colourful little apple called Peaches and Cream, and you can see it's 2 colours, but the 2 colours have got definite boundaries. They're well defined, so it's really quite eye-catching. A little bit like Scrumptious, which we've got in a few minutes. But I would say the colouring on Peaches and Cream is slightly more unusual. And the flesh is extremely white. Extremely white. I don't know what the flavour is on this. It's the first time it's fruited. I'm finding that a little bit like the previous one, just a little.
No, nothing like it.
No?
No.
A bit more?
No. To me, that's just a 2.5.
I don't know whether to think of that as watery or mild flavour. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. It's quite firm. It hasn't got the complexity of flavour of that other one. So you say you're 2.5? Yeah, okay. I think the appearance there is better than the flavour, to be honest.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. Right, that little one, they're both the same. I thought you'd see the variation in colour. They're not quite identical. Some of them are nearly yellow all over. And this is called Piccolo. It's got a strong aroma when you put them in a bag or a box, and the flesh is cream. I didn't grow this one, I got this from a friend's orchard. It's different again.
I need another piece of that
Yeah,
just to
yeah, it's sort of a
confirm
little bit soft, but it's not unpleasantly so. Lovely flavour. It's not rich or complicated, but it's very sort of middle of the road and pleasant. I think I can give that a 4.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, nice apple.
Yeah.
And it's a good size as well. A lot of people don't want an enormous apple. I mean, just imagine trying to eat one of those for lunch on your own.
No problem.
Really?
I'd have two.
Right, okay, fine. Right, next one is scrumptious. And this was bred by a guy called Hugh Ehrman relatively recently, I think probably 15 years ago or so. And again, if I can find it, I'll put what the parents of this are in the description. This is quite a popular apple for gardeners. I don't know what to make of that.
Very nice.
It's quite soft, but the flavour is so different from that one. What does it taste of?
I think maybe it's just a touch too soft.
I might have kept it for too long. I've had these for about 5 days.
But otherwise,
The skin is superb. It's got the flavour's at least 4, but it's just a question of is it any better than 4.
no.
Yeah,
I've got to give that a 5.
yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I'm going to give it a 4.5. 4.5. It's got some sort of low down flavours on the other end of the spectrum from lemon. Sort of ribenery sort of end of the spectrum. But very, very good. Right, 2 more to go. We've got Queen Caroline. I've got a couple of examples here. You can see it's quite a big apple. A cooker, obviously. But when they go yellow, reputedly they're not too bad for eating. They're great for cooking. They break down almost as quickly as Bramley. What's it like as an eater? Is it any good? No. Skin's tough and it's a bit lemony, and the rest of the flavours are a bit weak. But it cooks nicely. I think that's got to be a 2.5 for me as an eater.
Yeah.
Now try and remember the flavour, because I want you to help with an identification in a minute. What are you giving that? 2 or 2.5? Or what do you reckon?
2.5.
2.5. This one is Golden Noble. Again, a cooker, and has a reputation of being okay as an eater later on when it goes yellow. So let's see if this is any better. Oh, for me it is. That's a good 3. 3.5. It's firmer, the skin's better, and it's got more flavour. Could you eat one of them, do you think? If you were hungry? Very hungry.
Very hungry, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Now there's a great big apple over there. Could you pass it over, please? Because that's a special apple. One of my grafting students a few years ago brought some cuttings from the old orchard at Bowmanor Hall in Leicestershire, where they used to do some of the code cracking in World War II. And she said, I don't know what this apple is, but it's very good. So she gave me some cuttings, and I grafted some trees, and this is the first fruit from one of those trees from the old Bowmanor orchard. And I thought from the appearance, it's either Golden Noble or it's Queen Caroline. Now, Queen Caroline is rare, so I thought, oh, this must be Golden Noble. So let's see what the flavour is, and we should be able to decide which one it is. It looks like Queen Caroline, but looks are not everything. Which one do you think it's closest to? Do you want to try these other two again to see? Which one would you say it is? Do you want to try
Is that that one?
the one that you've just had is that one,
Yeah.
and then that is that one.
Oh, right. This one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think it is a Queen Caroline. Okay, so there's the answer to our puzzle. The missing apple tree from Bow Manor Hall was a Queen Caroline. Right, let's put the scores up. Oh, Janet, I hope that was useful to you. Thank you for the cuttings. Now, where's my... Oh, there's my little stand. I hope you can all see that.
Yeah, they will be able to.
Good. And I'll just get out of frame and just say something about it. So we've got Sunburst was top scorer with 10. Scrumptious only just behind it with 9. And St Aelred, a very worthy 9 as well. And the cider apple, interesting but not suitable for eating.
Yeah. So this time we had some lower score ones, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Is that down purely to them being a cider or cooker?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's appropriateness of use.
Yeah.
If we did a different sort of tasting where we cooked every one, we would find that the Queen Caroline and the Golden Noble came out on top, probably. Right. It's just a question of appropriateness. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. Well, we hope to be back again soon with another dozen or so varieties. So, in the meantime...
Yeah, goodbye for me.
Yeah, and goodbye from me. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.